Hello friends, welcome to Knowledge Bytes. We're discussing about the Azure Fundamental series, and this is the third part of Azure Fundamental series where we are going to go to the module number 2, which is Azure Architecture and Services. In this module, we'll start learning by knowing what is Azure, followed by Azure Hierarchy. Then we will demonstrate like how can you create a free account for your own use case and your own trial purposes. Next, we'll learn about Azure Regions and Zones, and also we'll see something in live. We'll also discuss and take a deep dive about regional pairs. Then we'll discuss about sovereign regions, followed by subscriptions, resource groups. Then we will take an in-depth look at resource group hierarchy. Then we will play around with common Azure resources that you must know. Starting with what is Azure? According to Microsoft or Microsoft's own definitions, Azure is continually expanding set of cloud services that help you meet current and future business challenges. Azure gives you the freedom to build, manage and deploy applications on a massive global network using your favorite tools and framework. In simple words, Azure is a public cloud offering by Microsoft, which you can manage with your favorite tools such as browser, or if you're coming from Windows background, you can do it using PowerShell. If you're coming from Linux background, then you can use CLI, and then the Azure native tools such as ARM templates, Bicep, etc. etc. So, moving next, like Azure Hierarchy. So before we sign up and create a free Azure account, remember this, like first is this Azure account on top of the food chain. First, starting with anything in Azure, it starts with an Azure account. Once you create an Azure account, or basically once you try to sign up, it will automatically create an account for you. Underneath that account, one subscription would be created for you. In any subscription, one account can be associated with multiple subscriptions, as you can see in the diagram. Again, within a subscription, there could be multiple resource groups, and again, within a resource group, there could be multiple types of resources and in multiple number or quantity within a resource group. For now, ignore this part is what is subscription, resource group and resources. We'll talk and discuss about them later. Now, in order to create a free account, you have to follow this link, azure.microsoft.com/English free. So you'll do that. Alternatively, what you can do, you can simply search in your favorite browser or favorite search engine, say Azure free account. I'll show you in live. Go to Google Chrome. That's because it is my favorite browser. So I will say Azure free account. So will click me to a link, but I think I have already logged into Azure in a different tab. So what I will do, I will open it. This is an incognito, and again I will do the same thing. I will do a Google search called Azure free account. It will take me to that same link that I have posted in the slide. If you click on it, you'll see this green button called Start Free and Pay As You Go. So Pay As You Go is the paid option, but we'll do the Start Free. Before you do the Start Free, remember there would be some services that would be always free. Actually, 12 months free will be free for 12 months. You'll get a $200 equivalent credit based on your geographical location, and there would be 55 plus services that's like perhaps a few other things that would be always free for Azure. Whether you are using a free trial or whether you are using a paid subscription, those services would never be charged. But this free trial again will be last for 30 days to be used. Okay, so we'll click on Start Free first. It will ask you for an email. Once you give an email address, so I'll give a random email address here. This is not a valid email address. I've just given just the sake of it. So it will ask you like what kind of account it is. Once you do these things, it will it will ask you like Again, for you, you will choose the personal account, and then it will ask you to provide your password. Once you've done this step, it will ask you a couple of details like your address, your like billing method, credit card numbers, and it will deduct some amount of money from your credit or debit card, and then it will return it back after the verification. The money would be debited only for the verification purpose, so you don't need to worry about that, and it would be very minimal, and it will be returned back within a day. So you don't need to worry about it. This is just to verify that you are a valid and a legal person, to stop spam bots and other services killing the Microsoft free time. Okay. So once you do that, you will be logged in, you will get into Azure, and you will land into something like this page. I'll close all these other browsers. So just so land into this page called azure.com. To log on to portal.azure, you will be directly logged in. But if you are not logged in, you can simply type https://portal.azure.com. To do, since I'm already logged in, it did not ask me for the username and password, but it will again ask you for the email address, and then you need to provide the email and password. Like you can see, this subscription also I have created as a free trial, just to showcase to you that you can create in a free trial. Right. So this is how, and this is the default Azure web page looks like, where the few services like subscription, quick start, in-app, etc. is listed. In the bottom, you will see something called a resource section, where you will see something called a recent and a favorite tab. We'll explore more onto this when we go into the rest of the section. For now, let's go back into the slides. Okay, so we have now successfully created a free account. Let's understand what exactly is Azure Regions. So first of all things, the entire Azure subscription, it's a global service since it's formed up in geographical regions. So region is a particular geographical area within the planet, like Central India, South India, North America, North Europe, etc. are example of regions that has at least one or more data center, or we can say and connected by a low latency network. We can better also say each region is consist of multiple zones. So we'll talk about zones later. For now, just understand in each region there would be at least one or more data centers that are connected by a low latency network, but physically isolated by each other. There is a nice little map that Microsoft provides to us to see the Microsoft region. What we will do, we will copy this link and put this link in browser to show you. I give you more around in the global map what is Microsoft Azure Regions looks like in an actual direct geography. So this is the globe that you can see. So if I talk about India, you can see there is a region called Central India, India South Central, South India, this is the region. Then there is the satellite or the virtual Azure space that Azure is building. In here in the Japan, there is a Japanese data center, Japan West. Similar to that, if I go to US, there is a West US region. Sorry, this was West US 2, US East 2. So throughout the global, you see they are all connected via, these are the network lines or network cables that Azure has connected. This is a wind farm, there is a things. This is like specialized zone that has been created for Azure. This is a public region that is created for on sovereign cloud that we'll learn more. This is Canadian government public region again. Also there is an interestingly, the satellite that you are seeing, this is also Azure has created called Azure Space, and that Azure has created in collaboration with ISS, Internet Space Satellites, and also with NASA. We'll take a tour about Azure Space. So to take a tour, so what Microsoft is saying, the amount of data that people are putting or dumping in Azure or basically storing in Azure is increasing rapidly. That is why, and also This data is specifically, I'm not talking about a server or application data, the data that satellites are collecting. So they also need some place to store this data, like images of Mars, images of solar eclipse or any star or anything. So they want to keep this within a space itself. So there are like 5 space satellite that like satellite orbit monitoring farm yields. This is for farming. This is for weather patterns. There is something called for internet capabilities. This is for like natural disaster. This data is collecting. These satellites orbit for supply chain disruptions like food supply, like crop supplies, fish supplies, etc., etc. So these are the things that Azure, these kind of data that Microsoft is storing in space. So Microsoft has started this Azure Space things in collaboration with NASA. Like Microsoft says, this at ground station with Azure Orbital Cloud Station, you can schedule contact with your satellite, directly ingest and process data in Azure. So that means whatever satellites, that is a commercial satellites or a government satellite, they can directly dump the data directly from satellite to any of the Azure data centers. Microsoft also claims that customer can bring down to Microsoft Azure securely, rapidly ingest, process, generate with AI tools with Azure Space, which is a massive scales of data. That's very nice that you can see in the graphics. Like I was saying, this is Microsoft is created with NASA, HP and ISS, International Space Station, where like Microsoft also developed an AI test to detect damage to astronaut equipment on board the International Space Station. So this is for like the people who goes to space. So this astronaut safety, like if there is any damage to their oxygen supply or anything, they will simply die. So to prevent any disaster, they are collaborating with artificial intelligence based Microsoft tools. Like there is a one where one space station, International Space Station, where Microsoft Azure is running for astronaut equipment change. There is another one which is running this is called HP Spaceborne 2, where is something similar is also running. Yeah, it's again now it's saying like collaboration with NASA Azure Space is helping deliver cloud computing. So basically Microsoft has enhanced their technology so fast that now an astronaut in space can create a virtual machine if he needs to, or an application just within some few clicks. This is literally difficult challenge. It may sound simple, but in space, think about how they can get internet or things. But now, particular to this spaceborne data collection is increasingly important to customers. The huge amount of data collected in space can unlock new scenarios, insights for customer on Earth. For example, if you can collect weather data and know like there would be a drought, there would be an heavy rain or etc., then you can prepare for those situations, right? And you can consume the data, like process the data, use services like Azure Synapse, Cognitive Service, and you can basically bring your own data for analysis as well. So this is really a good thing that Azure has started with the Azure Space Services that helps billions or millions or trillions of lives directly rather than direct Azure customers. So this was the all things about the Azure Global Infrastructures, and it's particularly Azure Space. I find it very interesting, so I thought I should showcase this to you. I hope like you enjoyed so far this the third section of the skills, and hopefully this has given you a little bit more insights about what is Azure and how can you get started with Azure. In the next video we will discuss more about Azure services, Azure in detail, what is subscription, resource groups, resources, indeed commonly Azure resources, etc., etc. For now, if you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe, and if you have any question, comment, doubt or any suggestion, please drop it on the comments and we will try to answer those as soon as possible. And if it is a feedback or a suggestion, then we'll try to implement from the starting from the next video. Once again, thank you so much for staying with us and watching this video. We will be back soon with the part 4 of this series. Thank you so much.